Hi, my name is Missy, and I am here to do the bullshit and the blessings for the week of, I guess it's May the 23rd. So they have a somewhat new camera setup that hopefully I'll be able to shuffle on camera and ignore my nails. I'm trying to learn how to do my own nails at home, and they look like shit right now because I haven't finished shaping them. But once I get them shaped, they're going to be pretty with all kinds of glitter. Anyway, let me get some shit done. So like I said, this is going to be the bullshit and the blessings for the week of May the 23rd through, I guess it would be May the 29th. So we're going to get a couple of focus cards first. We're going to use the Literary Witches Oracle for them. I'm not exactly sure. I think we're probably going to have 4 groups just based on what I have set up here. Hopefully, with this new, the way that I have the camera set up, things aren't shaking too bad as I'm shuffling, although I don't know if that's just my computer shaking or if it's actually the film. I hope it's not the video too. We'll see in editing. One more shuffling, and we'll get some focus. All right, so what's going on this week? As usual, I have my earbuds in. I'm listening to Pandora in the background. So if you hear me call out a song and artist, please only take what resonates from that. There we go, group 1. In fact, this is the perfect time for me to give my disclaimer. So these readings are meant to be timeless and general in nature. If the details fit, it is meant for you. If they do not, please do not try to make them fit, as that will do more harm than good, and it's not my intention. I am not a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. If you need advice in any of those areas, please consult a professional. You are an adult who is responsible for your own life. Please use that responsibility to your advantage. That means that you don't need to do something simply because I suggested in this video. It's just a suggestion. It's just advice. You ultimately have the decision over your own life. As for any music that comes through, please, again, only take what resonates. That could be simply the title, the artist, or, one word, phrase, or the chorus of a song. That does not mean that the entire song or the entire theme of the song pertains to what is happening in the reading. Let's get one more focus card. There we go. And we can go ahead and get started. 1 second. All right, so group number 1 is going to be represented by Miss Leslie Marnin Silko. I hope I said that right. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be a good spot for the cards or not yet. So then group number 2 is going to be the wolf. Yeah. Okay. Group number 3 is going to be Miss Octavia Butler. Let's get that to focus. Come on. There she is. And for group number 4, we are going to have the spider. All right. I'm probably going to do a better thumbnail for this one, or I may not do a thumbnail at all. I'm not sure. But as I said, in fact, let me give you a quick close-up of group number 1 because we did not get one yet. Come on. There we go. Kind of looks like a Christmas tree to me. Leslie Marmon Soko with community. Okay. All right. So group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. Go ahead and take a second to choose, and we'll start. Hello, group 1. How are you today? So this is going to be a look at the bullshit and the blessings this week. And so we are having a literary theme this particular week, and Miss Leslie Marmon, Silko, I keep pronouncing it incorrectly. She was an author who wrote a book called Germany, which is about a half native and half white man who's trying to deal with the effects of World War II. And so one of the themes, I should say, that comes through with this particular author has to do with community, as you can see from the keyword at the bottom of the card there, but more specifically, interconnectedness. She was a Native American. And so part of the teachings of her tribe were that interconnectedness is crucial for the health and well-being of not just, humans, but the planet at large. And so this particular reading is going to have to do with something going on in your community. This can be with your family, your friends, or even those people that you work with. Obviously, if this is a bullshit and blessings reading, there's something happening within your community that is causing some sort of distress that obviously there needs to be interconnectedness brought into, or maybe there already is a sense of interconnectedness in this particular situation. So we're going to be using the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot to look at the bullshit aspect of this reading, because Poe tends to be a little melancholy. And then we are going to be looking at our tarot, which is it's a tarot that's based around women and specific women who have done great things, basically. So, in fact, let me show you the box. It says a guidebook and deck featuring notable women in history by Sarah Shipman. If I can get it to, there we go, by Sarah Shipman. Beautiful box, beautiful cards. All right, so let's go ahead and get started and see what's going on. So we have the song Hideaway by Dara playing in the background. So what's going on? What's the bullshit happening in your situation this week? Oh, yeah. So we do have strength on the bottom of the deck. Since this is the bullshit aspect of this reading, that would tell me that there's something that you are feeling pretty nervous about. Maybe there's something that there's insecurity attached to whatever the bullshit aspect of this situation. It has to do with insecurity, whether that's your own insecurity or someone else's. All right, so interesting. We have the Nine of Paws. It says man's real life is happy chiefly because he is ever expecting that it soon will be so. So, you know, the Nine of Paws or the Nine of Pentacles is typically a card of independence. It can denote someone who's single. We're going to go ahead and put it right here because I do feel like um, this is sort of an overall energy, and then this is kind of the crux of what's going on in terms of the bullshit. So let's finish talking about this Nine of Pentacles. So if we're talking about the bullshit aspect of this reading, maybe you're looking at this and you're saying, the bullshit is that I'm single. Maybe you don't want to be single. Maybe especially listening to the lyrics of this song, I'm like, well, I'm wondering if that's, come on, focus. If that's kind of what this theme is. And look, you got the Four of Pentacles, the Moon, and then the Nine of Wands. I'm just reading the quotes at the bottom. So it keeps talking about impending happiness. Like, I feel like the bullshit in this reading, what they're saying is that you keep waiting or looking for happiness outside of yourself. And more than likely, this is that you're looking for happiness in terms of a relationship with someone else. And if that's the case, that is bullshit. You'll never find actual true happiness as long as you are seeking it outside of yourself. The only way to true happiness is through self-fulfillment, right? And so how does that look? Well, it just depends. What is it that you're passionate about? What is it that makes you happy? What is it that, what are your hobbies? What gets you out of bed, right? Like, because you can be attracted to someone, you can have lust for someone all you want, but once that lust starts to wear off, then what? What do you have left? There has to be something to keep you going each day, right? So kind of feel like that's what it's talking about. We also have the song Night Moves by Bob Seger playing in the background. So I'm even more convinced now listening to that this is definitely talking about romance, and someone is feeling a little, like you're saying, this is bullshit that I'm still single. Let's see what the blessing is. One thing that I do want to say, because we do have the Nine of Wands here, and it is in the third position of a 3-card spread, meaning that this card here would talk about the recent past, this would be the present, and this would be what's coming next. And so if this is the recent past, this card is the Four of Pentacles, and this particular card talks about, especially in this quote here on the bottom of the card, which I will show to you now. It says, I felt irresistibly impressed with the presentiment of some vast good fortune impending. So in the recent past, you keep thinking that your happiness is going to be found with some other person, right? I call bullshit. And I call bullshit because, and I think you're even calling bullshit because you've got the moon, right? And the moon says, for the moon never beams without bringing me dreams, right? You're like, where's my dream? Where's my person? Look at how ugly my thumb came out. Now, I got to tell you guys, I tried to do a clear coat of this acrylic stuff at home first because I didn't want, like, I don't know. I didn't want the real thick glittery stuff because it has a weird texture when you put it on. And that was a mistake. I should have done all glitter. Otherwise, it would have looked pretty good. I still have to shape them. Like I said, there's a couple that look really bad. But anyway, so this is talking about like now you're sitting here and you're going, well, I've been waiting. And you know what? I kind of actually have a feeling that you've been watching a lot of tarot readings, And you're like, okay, every reading I get keeps saying that my person's coming. My person's coming. But where are they? This is bullshit, right? Because this is where you are right now. Where are they? Where are they? This is bullshit. You keep telling me my dream. Where's the dream? You keep promising you're going to bring me. I'm still waiting. And then boom, you have this 9 of Wands over here. And so the 9 of Wands is the card of the wounded warrior. And that kind of, just me giving you that description of that card should tell you a little bit about what you still need to do. But like it says here, I stand amid the roar of a surf tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. So the important line there is a surf tormented shore. And then where he says, I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. That surf, God, it's a tongue twister for me. The surf tormented shore is talking about your mental health and well-being. There's something that you have to heal. Obviously, if you're still looking outside of yourself for happiness, right? Like I said at the very beginning, true happiness doesn't come from a relationship with anyone. It comes from a relationship with yourself. So what is the blessing in all of this? Because I mean, we could delve into this forever if you wanted to, right? But really, it's going to be basically the same of the same old story. Like, how many days and hours and minutes are you going to dwell on all of the BS from the past? Let's focus on what the blessing is that's coming in, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be focusing on the BS. I want to see what the good stuff is. Let me work my way through the BS as quickly as I can so that I can get to my blessing. That has always been my motto. I do have, a Capricorn North node. So I've always had the motto of work first, and then you can play all you want. Get the boring stuff out of the way. Look you've got the sun peeking through on the bottom of the deck. Let's give it a few more shuffles. Okay. So I'm only going to pull one of these because this particular deck has a lot of information attached to each card. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull one of these to see what the blessing is that's coming in. And then I'll read from the book, probably not everything, because that's just a boring, pick a card reading. I'll read what I think is the most pertinent about the person that is depicted, because each card has a special woman depicted on it. And so we want to look at what is the story of that person that's going to help us to understand what the blessing is that's coming in. After that, we'll pull some charms, and then we'll move on to the next reading. So, one more shuffle. So we have Pop Evil with another Romeo and Juliet playing in the background. Telling you, oh yeah. So I don't know if I want to keep that one because of the way it came out. It felt, but it just kind of popped out. So, and then look, it came out in the reverse. So we've got Queen of Wands with Josephine Baker. I'm going to actually put it back in the deck. The reason that I'm going to put it back in the deck is because it came out in the reverse, right? So when it's in the reverse, that's not a positive, the meaning of the card is not positive. And what we're trying to look for is what are the blessings that are coming in for you, right? However, having this come out in the reverse, I feel like this is spirit saying, look, we need to talk about something else just a little bit more here. I want you to see this, even though it is in the reverse. I just want you to look at it in the reverse because that's how it came out. So Josephine Baker is a very attractive woman. Look at her. I'm going to turn it up right in just a second, but I just want you to get the full effect of it being in the reverse. A very attractive woman. However, if you've been following tarot for any amount of time, you know that when a card is in the reverse, that tends to mean that the reverse meaning of that card is in play. So if you are sitting in this energy right here, where you are saying, I have been watching these readings, or I've been told, Spirit's been telling me forever, my person is coming, but I don't see them. Where are they? When am I going to be happy? Spirit is saying, you better get yourself out of that energy real quick, because it is making you very unattractive. And that's not what you want if you're looking for your person. I have to be honest, when the Queen of Wands is in the reverse, this is the type of woman that nags. This is the type of woman that bitches and moans and complains all the time. And she just looks like she's angry. She looks like she wants to fight all the time. She looks like the kind of woman, or the kind of feminine energy that most masculine energies would run away from. Okay. That doesn't mean that she actually is. I'm just saying that when this comes out in the reverse like this, it's saying that this is the impression that you're giving, which is the opposite of the impression that Josephine Baker would have given. And let me tell you, when Josephine Baker was in her element, baby, okay. So let that be a big piece of advice for you. But we're going to go ahead and look at now, what are the blessings that are coming in for you? Interesting. You notice nothing is wanting to come out in terms of the blessings. So this tells me something else. You must be feeling very bitter. If you're feeling very bitter, you're going to need to snap your ass out of it. Otherwise, you aren't going to be manifesting any kind of blessing. All you're going to be manifesting is more of the same. And now I'm kind of wondering if the Queen of Wands meant to come out in the reverse as your blessing, as a way of saying your energy may be so negative at this point that you're blocking your blessing. You are literally blocking your blessing. And I'm going to give it another second, just because it's just interesting. Like I can really feel, hold on. I can really feel that the cards didn't want to come out, but we're going to take those because they fell. So now we have the Eight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So the Eight of Pentacles is a card of hard work, mastering your craft, putting in a lot of time and effort in to gain the experience needed in order to become an expert in your craft. You see all those coins there? This can be a card of work, hard work. So the blessings that are coming in for you are going to require a lot of hard work on your part, obviously. So then we have Sarah Breedlove, Jane Austen, and Corazon Aquino. So I have to be honest with you. I'm going to read Sarah Breedlove because I feel like, again, where it's saying with this Eight of Pentacles, that your blessing is going to take a lot of work on your part. This is going to be a lot of like self-awareness, a lot of shadow work, right? A lot of work on your part. It's going to be work associated to these cards, these two cards in particular, and that's what's going to bring you the Four of Wands, which is a celebration. And Four of Wands is typically a card of marriage, right? And obviously that's what you were looking for as we've been going through this reading. So the Page of Swords, you can see there's a lot of like writing and what looks like journaling. And so that's kind of what the Page of Swords is about. But it can also be about study, right? So I feel like if, as you can see, there's a picture of, it's Jane Austen right there, or a silhouette of Jane Austen there in, being superimposed over her, probably one of her manuscripts. I'm certain that that's going to be her handwriting in the background there. And so, again, this is you studying yourself, right? Because we do have, even though this is supposed to be the Page of Swords, that to me looks like a wand. I don't know, I just feel as if this is study, maybe even journaling. It may take a lot of journaling on your part, but let's go ahead and read Sarah Breedlove. This is going to be our advice. Give me 1 second. Oh, my stomach is upset for some reason all of a sudden. Interesting. There may be something traumatic that you may, something that when, because it's something, when I was talking about doing a lot of self-reflection, that was when my stomach started hurting. So okay, Sarah Breedlove, the Keeper of Pentacles, which is the equivalent to the King of Pentacles. So this is going to be Taurian energy. The key aspects are prosperity, discipline, entrepreneurship, and innovation. It says Sarah Breedlove was the first African-American female millionaire whose fortune was born of misfortune. Oh, interesting. A widowed mother of one, she came to St. Louis to live near her brothers and ultimately got work as a laundress. After a few years on the job, she began to experience hair loss as a result of being exposed to large amounts of caustic laundry soap ingredients, like lye. She was not alone. Many other poor Black women she knew in her line of work were also suffering from scalp diseases, hair loss, or both, because of their exposure to harsh cleaning agents and poor nutrition. Ashamed of her affliction, she wrapped her head tightly in a headscarf every day, which may have caused further damage to her scalp and hair. I kind of already know where this is going. So Sarah began to experiment with different remedies, using her brother's barbershop as a makeshift laboratory. She started out with the popular remedy of petroleum jelly and sulfur, from which she saw some improvement over the years. She also tried the products and care regimens of Annie Turnbow Malone, a local Black businesswoman who made and sold hair care products under the brand name Poro in her St. Louis shop. However, most of Turnbow's business came to her via her salespeople, women she recruited to sell Poro products to their friends and neighbors. This word-of-mouth approach was born of necessity, as products for African Americans were not widely accessible. Most early 20th century cosmetics companies were owned and managed by white business people who created and marketed products as solutions to Black hair that promised to relax and straighten it in compliance with white beauty standards of the era. So basically, I'm not going to keep reading this because, as you can see, we have several paragraphs and a couple of pages to go. That would be way too long. So basically, what I'm getting from this entire story, and especially with Sarah Breedlove here, is that not only is there some sort of like inner work that you need to do on your own? Remember when I said that my stomach sort of twisted and into knots and got a little bit nauseous when I was talking about doing some studying of yourself, doing shadow work, like really getting to know yourself. I'm wondering if this shadow work has to do with maybe financial situations, a job situation. Maybe there is some gift, skill, or ability that you have that you have felt in some way kept down or held down or prevented or blocked from being able to pursue whatever this idea, this dream, this ability is. And it is feeling very strongly to me as if the advice here, especially when it talks about work, I feel like what it's saying is you might be waiting for love, and what you need to be focusing on is career. Or you might be focusing on love, but what you need to focus on is career, especially if you're watching this and you're already in a relationship, but maybe there's something going on in your relationship where you're just like you're unsatisfied, or something, like maybe there was a dream promise that hasn't been fulfilled yet, and you're just kind of like, woe is me about it. But I think for the most part, this is for people who are looking for love, and they're focused more on love or finding the perfect relationship than they are on their actual job or career, or what it is that makes them happy and what it is that they are passionate about. Because this is not just, I need to go out and find a job and take care of myself. That's not what Sarah Breedlove was doing. Sarah Breedlove was passionate about her hair, okay, as any and every woman would and is, or would be and is. She was passionate because it was something that, she didn't want to have to go out in public feeling as if she didn't look her best. So she kept at it, and she kept at it, and she kept at it until she became a success. And obviously she did become a success. So there's something going on with you where you're so focused on other people bringing you success. And these cards are saying that you need to be the one who brings your own success. Stop focusing on them. Stop focusing on what the other person can do for you, can bring you, can fulfill, can whatever. The only one that's ever going to bring you happiness is you. I think what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to pull some charms, just because there might be specific messages. Give me 1 second. I got to kind of get things a little situated here so I can switch cameras, which is going to mean that I need to edit. Okay. So remember, anything that falls in the center is going to be a general reading for everyone. If it falls in this ring here, it will be within a couple of weeks to a month. Anything in the outer, on the table in the outer ring, is going to be a couple of months to a year. If it falls on the board itself, that means within this week. And in a specific sign is a special message for that sign. Okay, so first thing that I need to do is, I've got some that fell in the outer ring, and I just want to kind of double check to see exactly where they're falling. And that looks like it's the sign of Scorpio. All right. So we don't really have a whole lot in the center. Some are kind of straddling, but I wouldn't, well, actually this number 11 die. So, wrong camera. So typically the number 11 is a number that just basically says to like, watch your thoughts. It's like an angel number that says, there's this saying that says, where your thoughts go, energy flows. And so that's typically what that angel number is about. It's saying that your thoughts are manifesting rapidly. So it's just a reminder to pay attention to your attitude this week for everyone. So for the sign of Aries, we don't really have anything in this house, but for the sign of Taurus, we do have the guitar and we have the Scorpio charm. Interesting. There could be, Taurus could be dealing with a Scorpio this week. There could be some sort of, because this is falling on the earth element here, there's some sort of like stable or secure something that's actual, like what is the word I'm looking for? Something that you can touch, taste, see, feel, something real. Like you could be dealing with a Scorpio and there could be something that is stable coming from a Scorpio, or something that has to do with a Scorpio. Could be very stable, long-term, secure. It's I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but that's okay. There could be like some sort of creativity or music or something attached to this. I actually feel like it could be like a message of love, or I don't know, something. It's like a creative, it's something tangible. Tangible is the word that I was looking for. So you could be dealing with a Scorpio who actually presents or offers something tangible this week, because this is sitting on the earth element. There could be some security with that Scorpio in terms of a creative endeavor with the guitar there. Okay, so for Gemini, you could have some money coming in this week. Not a lot, because this is just the dollar bill, but it is in the upright, so it's money coming in. For the sign of Cancer, we do have the clock in your outer wheel, so there's a time element attached to whatever your situation is, especially if you were, if you were watching this particular reading. Why won't this, come on, focus. We have the song Blame It on the Rain by Milli Vanilli playing in the background. So if this applies to you, Cancer, take it however it applies. Maybe, there was someone that you kind of lost. Okay, so I don't know why this won't focus. It's driving me nutty, but it's a clock. Oh, come on. Oh my God, finally. There you go. So it's at 8 o'clock, or excuse me, 11:40 on that clock. I don't know if that matters at all, but anyway, so at least a month, or at least a month out in terms of the timing for that, for Cancer. So for the sign of Leo, you do have some money coming in. It might be actually a good amount. This is the $100 bill. Same thing for Virgo. Could be some money or some sort of abundance, something positive coming in. Zorro, come here. Sorry, my dog was going into the other room and freaking the bird out. So for the sign of Virgo, there's some sort of abundance coming in for you. It can be money. You do have the angel, and this is in the a couple of weeks to a month ring, and then in your outer ring you have the sign of Taurus. So you could be dealing with a Taurus. Any interaction with them will probably be, at least a year out because of where this fell. But I do think maybe there's angelic help in whatever this situation is. Maybe there's something positive that could be happening about this situation now within this week. And then you may see some other positive, something happen within a month. And then possibly by about a year, there could be communication. All right. So for Libra, you don't have anything this week, but in the outer ring, you have the wishes do come true charm. For Scorpio, you have the letter here. So this is interesting because we have the Scorpio charm in Taurus's house. These are, Scorpio and Taurus are sister signs in the zodiac because they are on opposite ends of the wheel. And so where I thought maybe there was some sort of tangible something happening with a Scorpio that has to do with creativity, or it could be a message of love. Then we have the message over here in Scorpio, and that's sitting on top of the fixed element. So whatever this is, like maybe if you are working on something creative and it has to do with a Scorpio, this is like the contract, right? Like if this is a business or well, obviously this was a love reading. So if this is the only reason that I'm saying business is because once I get to the charms, this is like a whole other ballpark. I'm not just focusing on what the reading was here. I'm looking for special messages. So again, you may not be romantically involved with a Scorpio. You could be involved like business or family with a Scorpio. And this would be either the message that solidifies whatever this creative thing is. It could be the message, like let's say somebody is sending a message of love. That message could be this music over here, right? This could be the contract for a creative project. If, let's say it's a family issue, right? This could be where you speak and you set up plans, or you make plans to get together for some sort of celebration or something. And it's interesting to me too, the way this 11 domino is like right in line with that. And so 11, it's like two pillars or two ones. And in fact, 1111 is one of those numbers that a lot of people will, that they use for the twin flame, or they consider to be the twin flame number. So again, if this is a love reading, you've got the 11 or 2 as a partnership being shown here. All right. So for Sagittarius, we don't have anything this week. For Capricorn, we actually have quite a bit going on, because what you don't see is that there's a rune that fell in the outer ring here. So we're going to start with this axe, and that is falling on the earth element. So there's something in your tangible life that needs to be cut out or changed or gotten rid of in some way. You do have the charm that says never give up, and that's sitting on top of the Saturn symbol. And you do have the $50 bill in the reverse. So I feel like this is saying there might be a little bit of hardship, right? Especially with this axe and the $50 bill in the reverse. This is like saying whatever it is that you give up, or that you have to get rid of, or that you have to cut out of your life, it may be difficult. It may feel like it's an expense, right? It may cost you. You may not want to do it, or it could be actual money or an actual expense that's attached to this. But with this never give up charm, it's saying like, don't worry, like the hard times are not going to last forever. You do have this Leo charm here in the outer ring, talking about a couple of weeks to a month. And so you could be dealing with a Leo, but this could also be, the Leo energy calls attention to a situation. So maybe, you could be calling attention to the situation, or maybe speaking up in some way, because the lion does roar. So maybe you have to speak up in some way. But the interesting thing is that then you have the rune of ice, which is the rune of stillness. Basically, this is a rune that talks about everything comes to a standstill. So about a year out, there's like everything sort of pauses, whatever, for whatever reason, everything comes to a standstill at about a year out, and it's going to feel like a pause. It could be connected to a Leo, but if it's not connected to a Leo, it's connected to whatever is happening right now, where you have to cut someone out of your life, for whatever reason. Just don't give up. It may hurt now. I don't know. I kind of feel like interesting. We have the song. It literally just started. Jupiter in June by Pop Evil playing in the background. Yeah, and so I feel like this is saying there needs to be a pause of at least a year. If you're dealing with the Leo, like maybe you need to take a pause from them for at least a year. I don't know. It's just how it feels right now, just based on what everything is going on. Okay, so for Aquarius, we have, there's some sort of expense for you this week because you do have the $50 bill in the reverse. And then for Pisces, I think you're going to need to be, flexible. You're going to be kind of very busy, you're going to feel like because kangaroos jump around a lot, right? Like kangaroos are um, like jumping and kicking is kind of their thing. But I feel like you're going to be bouncing around a lot this week. All right. So I hope that resonates. If it does not, please stay tuned. There may be another reading for you here on the channel that does. Oh, for Scorpio, I forgot. Okay, so we had in your outer ring, in the way outer ring for at least a year out, you have the shooting stars, and then you have the number 3 domino. If I can get those to focus. There we go. So the numbers 2 and 1 or 21 or the number 3 could be important for you, as well as Saturn, shooting stars, and the moon. And so I feel like what this is saying is like, especially with the Saturn and the shooting stars there, this is like all your hard work is finally going to pay off within a year. It literally feels like that to me, because 3s are like cooperation and collaboration. And it looks like the moon is shooting those stars from his mouth along with that Saturn there. So it literally feels to me like it's saying your hard work is definitely going to pay off. Like you're going to see some sort of recognition or something within a year. All right, so now we're going to leave it there. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, whatever you can to help me get the channel out there, as I am new here. And thank you for watching. Hello, group 2. So we have the wolf. So interestingly, the wolf is all about like nurturing, family, pack. So let's see what's going on for you this week. It could be something to do with your family. Let's find out. Because we're using the literary witches as our focus cards, I decided to use Edgar Allan Poe to look at the bullshit, because Mr. Poe has a tendency to be a little melancholy. So he's going to let us know what the bullshit is this week. And then we are going to look at some notable women in history to bring us our blessings. And that's going to be in the form of our tarot. And this is what the box looks like. Right. And you know what? My Edgar Allan Poe box is buried. Otherwise, I would show you that as well, but it's a newer deck for me. So, okay, let me get a couple of shuffles and then we'll get right into it. We have the song I Want to Break Free by Queen playing in the background. So I don't know if I did my disclaimer yet, but now's a really good time. These readings are meant to be timeless and general in nature. If the details fit, they are meant for you. If they do not, please do not try to make it fit, as that is not my intention, and it will do more harm than good. I am not a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. If you need advice in those areas, please consult a professional. Please do not do something simply because I suggest it in these videos. You are an adult who has responsibility over your own life. Please use that responsibility to your advantage. If you hear me call out a song and artist, please remember to only use the details or only take the details that fit for your particular situation. That does not mean the entire theme of the song or every word of that song is going to pertain to your reading. Sometimes it may only be the title, one word, the author, or the chorus that will pertain to the theme of the reading. You should know your own situation well enough to be able to intuit which is yours. Okay, so let's get into it. What's going on? What is the bullshit I'm reading for my wolf pack? I really hate doing these disclaimers. If and eventually I am going to just have something written out that I put on my channel, and I'm not going to even say the disclaimer in these readings because they're so awkward. We really, really are. Oh, yeah. All right, so we have the Empress on the bottom of the deck, which is interesting because I already kind of felt as if we had a little bit of a family vibe going on with the wolf here. And so the Empress can bring in like mommy vibes, literally. In some decks, she's actually pregnant in the imagery. And so this particular card says the angels whispering to one another can find among their burning terms of love none so devotional as that of mother. All right. So what's going on? Are you the mother? Is there something going on with your mother? Is there something going on with your family? What is up? What's the bullshit? Let's find out. All right. Well, actually, this isn't all bad. I mean, obviously, there's some sadness by looking at the imagery, especially with the moon card coming in the final position of a 3-card spread. Um, you know, uh, when you have the moon card as the final position of the 3-card spread, it can talk about, fear, worry, anxiety, sleeplessness, nightmares, uh, you know, suspicion and anxiety and basically fearing the worst at all times. And so I do feel like with these 3 cards together, especially with the 8 of paws being, the 8 of pentacles, and then you have the 10 of wands next to it. So this is quite literally like you are overwhelmed with the work that you're doing. Even if you are the mother and or let's say you're a stay-at-home mom. I don't know if you are or not, but we're just going to use that as an example because of how explicit these cards are with that particular card as the main energy, right? So this would be a mother who is feeling used and abused, basically. This is a mother who is burnt out because they're doing everything for their family and they're receiving nothing in return. And they're also there's no recognition and maybe there's no rest from the work as well, because this is the 10 of wands and it is in the current energy position. And typically with the 10 of wands, this is the last step, like you're nearly there, or you're nearly able to set the responsibility down. It's just that, you're not there yet, right? You see he still has these wands on his back, and he also has the ghost of his wife, um, kind of in the background as well, you know. So she's always on his mind, always in his thoughts. So again, with that particular image of the ghost of his wife there, and then you've got this moon card, which is a card of fear and anxiety and all of that stuff. You're feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling overwhelmed and like you aren't sure you can actually pull this off. And let's do it like this because so we have interesting. We have the song Demons by Imagine Dragons playing in the background. Very interesting, especially with this imagery here. She, you can't even see her face. Obviously, she's a ghost. So I'm also wondering if some of this stuff that you're perceiving as, responsibility, or this fear, this anxiety, this stuff that you're worrying about, I'm wondering if maybe it's like energy of the past that should be a ghost, that should be forgotten, and maybe you're just not letting it go. I don't know. Let's find out. We're going to look at we're going to use the Our Tarot. What we're going to do with this deck is I'm only going to pull one card as the overall energy of the blessings coming in. If we need to get any more information, I'll go back to the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot to get the details. But or I might just stick with this deck. I don't know. I always go with my instincts on that. But what we're going to do is once I get this one card here, I'm going to go ahead and read just a small amount from the book. I don't want to make this video too boring or too long. And this book has like multiple pages for each card, which is good, but not when you're trying to do um, a quick summary of what the card or what the woman in the card is about, because each card is represented by a specific woman from history. One more shuffle, and then we'll find out what are the blessings that are coming in for you here. Now, I know that I used the example of a stay-at-home mom in this scenario. That does not mean that you have to be a stay-at-home mom. This can be any scenario where you feel as if your pack, your tribe, your family, whatever, is not appreciating you and the work that you've put in, your will and your desire to take on the responsibility of caring for, and taking care of your family and your pack. Like you feel as if it's a burden, it's too much, right? And there's also fear of something here. We're going to find out what that fear is in a minute, but I want to find out what the blessings are first. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, we got the Fool. So you have some sort of new beginning, like a serious new beginning that's going to take like a lot of courage. So, Joan of Arc is one of those figures that you learn about in school, right? And they talk about how she fought for God and country, and was ultimately successful in her quest, basically, for France. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find her. So as you can see, when I say there are multiple pages, I am not joking. You do not want me to sit here and read all of that right now. All right. So this is your blessing is going to be personal destiny, a new beginning, and spiritual guidance. It says a pious child from Domremy, a small village in the north of France. Joan of Arc was an unlikely candidate for military commander during the 100 Years' War, when the English and French fought for the rulership of France. At 13, oh, interesting. I didn't know she was that young. At 13, Joan began to hear voices and recognize them as the voices of Saint Michael, Saint Margaret, and Saint Catherine, all of whom urged her to drive the English out of France. They also instructed her to bring oh, I don't think I'm saying this correctly. Interesting. Did you see that this candle just went out back here? Now, I know the candle was only partially full when I started this particular video, but I don't take anything in a reading for granted. So the fact that it went out in the middle of your reading, I feel like this has to do with this portion of the reading. And the reason that I say that is because obviously with this 10 of Wands here, you're feeling overwhelmed and overburdened, and you really want to set this responsibility down, especially if it's a responsibility to family or something that you're like, I can't anymore. I can't. I need this new beginning, right? So this responsibility is obviously ending because you're burnt out, and you absolutely are getting this new beginning. I don't know if this is something that you're hoping for. I have a feeling that you have been hoping for this new beginning already, but there is that small part of me that feels like somebody may be upset that they're getting this new beginning, that this candle is burning and they're getting this new beginning. So let me go ahead and finish reading this. It says, they also Dauphin Dauphin, I don't know, Charles the Eighth, excuse me, Charles the Seventh, heir to the French throne, to Reims to be made king. Joan accepted these commands. She believed her life's purpose was to lead the French to victory. At 16, she felt the time was right for her to carry out her divine directives. As the saints had told her that she must seek out the Dauphin as soon as possible, she asked a male relative to escort her to the relocated royal court, where she gradually garnered the support of French military officers as she traveled south. In order to navigate the dangerous battlefield safely, she took on the disguise of a young male soldier. According to popular legend, she recognized the Dauphin immediately upon arriving at the court in Bourges, despite never having seen him or his likeness before. She made a favorable impression on the prince and the king's theologians, who questioned her regarding her spiritual piety. The Dauphin granted her request for armor, and her military entourage provided her with a horse, sword, and banner bearing the image of Christ, flanked by angels. So, okay. I feel like, based on, because like I said, I don't want to read this whole story. I feel like based on what it's saying about Joan of Arc so far, there is some sort of, I feel like it's like a mission or something that you want to do, but you need to leave this responsibility of family or community or some responsibility. You need to leave some responsibility behind. And I feel like you need to be able to talk someone into it, like basically talk someone into letting you go, ending this responsibility, like ending the contract, because I say contract because this here, although it is the poem of the Raven, it is paperwork, right? So it could be like a contract or something, so that you can have this new beginning, but you have to be able to talk your way into it. Basically, you have to be able to prove yourself before you can have this new beginning, is basically what this card is telling me. And so let's go ahead, and I want to find out, what is this fear? Yeah, let's go ahead and use, we have Titanic by Juice WRLD playing in the background. Okay, so what is this fear? What are you afraid of when it comes to this new beginning? Or what is the fear and anxiety, the worry? You have the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. It says, Lord, help my poor soul. So I wonder if you're worried about having support in some way. Let's see. Oh, Eight of Swords, and then the Ace of Cups. Based on this, I feel like you're afraid to end it. Remember when I said, when that candle went out, there's going to be somebody who's afraid for this to end? That's what this Eight of Swords is about. It's a self-imposed prison, right? The person that's in this self-imposed prison stays there willingly, even though their hands are not tied so tightly that they, like literally in the imagery, you can see that all they really need to do is just kind of twist a little bit, and the bonds will fall away and they'll be free. Or in some images, you'll see they're surrounded by a cage of swords, but the swords are spaced far enough apart that all the person really needs to do is remove the blindfold and step between the swords to freedom, right? So there's something going on here where you're afraid to end this situation, even though this situation here is way too much and it's overwhelming to you. I don't know why you're afraid to embrace this Ace of Cups, which is new, but it says, beauty of whatever kind in its supreme development invariably excites the sensitive soul to tears. So, okay, so you're afraid So you're afraid of getting hurt. You're afraid of failure. You're afraid of, maybe embarrassment or something. What is this? Because I don't feel like everybody watching this particular reading is looking at a love situation. Although the Ace of Cups does make me think that it could be like somebody's looking at this and they need to break up with their partner in order to pursue another partner or something, right? But they're afraid. Like, I don't know, especially with this Ace of Cups, like if it's that scenario where you're with one partner, but like I feel like there is a chance that maybe the partner that you're with is maybe somebody that you don't actually love, but they're comfortable, right? But there could be somebody else that you would prefer or something. But you're afraid of getting hurt, or you're afraid of being rejected, or you're afraid of failure, or you're afraid of something. If it's not a love situation, this has to do with like a work situation, which would really make sense to me, because do you know how many people are stuck in jobs that they absolutely hate, that they refuse to quit, even though there's something that they would really prefer doing, something that would make them excited to get out of bed every morning. But because they're so worried about having to cut back financially in order to pursue their dream, they stay where they're unhappy. So that could very, very well apply to somebody here as well. But I'm going to go ahead at this point. I'm going to pull some charms. Give me a second to get set up. I need to switch cameras, so there's going to be a little bit of an edit here. Interesting. I would like to point out that we have Carrie Underwood in the background, and she is singing Cowboy Casanova. So yeah, this, for those who are looking at love, like they're afraid that their person is going to screw them over. And that's the reason that they're not willing to, they're afraid of this new beginning. All right. So the way we read the charms, everything that falls in the center is it's a general reading for everyone. If it falls in this outer ring, it's going to represent 2 weeks to a month. Anything on the table is several months to a year, depending on how far it falls. If it falls on the board itself, it represents this week. And if it happens to fall within a specific sign, it is a special message for that sign. All right. So let's get next. Excuse me. All right. So as you can see, we have a couple of things that landed here in the center. We do have the apple. So there is wisdom or some sort of, oh, you know what? I don't know where that wolf started, and I did not mean to drop that. It was an accident. So yeah, you guys will have to remember where the wolf was. Okay, so anyway, apples in the center. Apples are all about wisdom, information, education. Like if you're looking for the answer for something, you'll know whether or not that pertains to you, but there are answers coming in this week. So for the sign of Aries, we don't really have a whole lot going on. We do have the child on a bike straddling the Aries and Taurus houses. So there could be something that has to do with children. That's affecting both Aries and Taurus this week. For the sign of Taurus, we have the crown, and that is sitting on the outer ring, but on top of Taurus itself. So I feel like Taurus is going to be like have authority or something. There could be a promotion or some sort of authority. Maybe Taurus gets to call the shots this week. We do have the I can charm with the need rune, but this particular rune is falling between both the houses of Taurus and Gemini, but specifically in the element of earth and air. So what this tells me, and this is actually a message, all three of these, the rune need, this I can charm, and then with the element earth and air is for both Taurus and Gemini. It's saying that you need to ground your ideas in reality. Like, don't believe that you cannot, right? Because the I can charm, as you can see, is in the reverse, right? So because it's upside down, it's, you know, it's saying that you feel as if you can't, but you absolutely can. You just need to ground your ideas, your plans into reality. Like, make sure that you solidify them however you can. Like, if it's, and what I mean by that is, like, let's for an example, let's say you are you're, I don't know, planning a party, and you have an idea of a certain theme for the party. You want to actually put that into place. Like, you don't just write it down on a piece of paper. You want to actually do the research, start looking into it, see if do you have the money to be able to have that theme, what is involved in that theme. So do whatever you can to ground something in reality, because you absolutely can do it. Especially if with this apple, there might be answers coming in that will help you to be able to ground that down. So again, that was a message for both Gemini and Taurus. For the sign of Cancer, we don't have anything this week, but for the sign of Leo, we have the water rune. And then we have this wolf that's straddling both houses. And like I said before, I don't know if this wolf started here or not, but I don't ever discount anything in a reading, and the fact that it ended up here, especially with the wolf's mouth where he's howling towards Leo. It could be that Virgo and Leo are dealing with each other this week, and maybe it's Virgo who has something to say to Leo, and it could be something emotional because this is the water rune, and it is in the reverse. And so, you know, whatever it is that Virgo has to say to Leo could make Leo upset. You know, take it however it resonates. It could be that whatever Virgo is saying to Leo is something very emotional on Virgo's part, and Leo's advice would be to be compassionate and hear them out. Virgo does have the rose. And so this particular, you know, the rose for me speaks of like romance and love. Because it is in full bloom here. So it could be that Virgo is expressing themselves there, you know, romantically to a Leo. Okay. And for Libra, we have some sort of abundance or money coming in. You have the $100 bill in the upright. For Scorpio, you have the $10 bill in the reverse, which means there is going to be some sort of expense or, you know, loss this week. That is falling on top of the fixed modality and the water element. So I think this loss could be, I think it might be something that causes you, it's like a permanent loss that is emotional. This is the $10 bill, right? So when I say the permanent loss that's emotional, it's because it's in the fixed modality, meaning permanent, water meaning emotional. Like I say, it's the $10 bill though, so it's not going to be huge, but it's not small either. If you think of the denominations that I have in my bucket, they go from 1 to 100. So they are like 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100. So this one is middle of the road. It's going to be, you know, it's going to hurt, but it won't be devastating. You do have the open heart key. So, you know, whatever this pain is, it's also a solution, I believe. So it is a painful solution. We do have the number 8 domino here. And so there is abundance attached to this as well. You just may not notice it right away. So the numbers 5, 3, 53, and 8 are important for Scorpio. And then finally, we have the guitar in the outer ring. So there's some sort of like, you'll need to put your creative skills to use with this situation within a month. Okay, so for Sagittarius, you have Made with Love and the butterfly charm that you know, is sitting both in your house and the house of Capricorn. So Capricorn could be, you could be dealing with a Capricorn. There could be some sort of changes involving a Capricorn that are, you know, made with love or heart centered in nature. And then you do have the 44 domino. And so fours are always about security. So this whole reading for Sagittarius could be about security, especially if you're dealing with a Capricorn. There could be security, like changes coming in with this Capricorn that bring security and abundance, because this is the 8 domino, but it's 2 fours. And we have the song Here by Alicia Cara. I can never say that name. Anyway, so the numbers 44, 4, and 8 are important for Sagittarius. 44 is also an angel number. As I said, it has to do with security, abundance, because it's the number 8, stability, and big changes. Also, one thing, big changes around work too, because Capricorn is, ruled by Saturn. So anyway, then with Capricorn, these big changes, I think you are the one. Oh, interesting. I just saw the monkey here. This is the first time the monkey charm ever came out. Okay, so for Capricorn, I think with this monkey and this leaf, like I always think turning over a new leaf, and then especially having the butterfly, which talks about changes anyway, whatever these changes are that you're making, Capricorn, they're huge. Obviously, probably have to do with some sort of wisdom or intelligence or something, some sort of studying or research that you've done that helps you to make this huge change. And this huge change helps you to like climb the ladder, like climb the ropes, right? Like learn the ropes. Then you have this number 5 domino in the outer ring. So the change is probably coming within a month. So the numbers 4, 1, 41, and 5. Oh, come on. There you go. Again, within a month. So Aquarius, you have a time issue going on here, especially if you're trying to climb the ladder. You have, hold on, you have made with a smile. Okay, made with a smile charm. And that's coming out next to the nail. Okay, interesting. It's like you're climbing the ladder, but I think this has to do with like the quality of work that you put in. Like there's a time issue, made with a smile. You have the nail. I feel like it's saying like, it's like a quality issue, right? Like you don't get quality if you work fast, is kind of how I feel like this is. But the interesting thing is you have the spoon in the reverse. Now, hold on. So there is a time issue that has to do with climbing the ladder, climbing the ranks, learning the ropes in some way. But when you have this made with a smile next to this nail here, that's like putting in a lot of hard work, but enjoying your work, really being passionate about your work. And maybe that's the reason that it takes so long for your work to be completed. But then having this spoon in the reverse and having the mushroom fall upside down in the outer ring. And then we have the song in the background. Hold on, I'm getting to my point. Just give me a second. The song Legends Are Made by Sam Tinez is playing in the background. Okay. Literally, this is how legends are made, is what it's talking about with Aquarius. There's a time factor here. In terms of the work, like, of course, because you enjoy what you do and you're really like learning the ropes, you're taking your time, but then it's like, there's something happening where I wonder if maybe you're waiting for something. Because when the spoon comes out in the reverse, it's like you get a dose of medicine that is bitter. It's a bitter pill to swallow. If it was in the upright, it's medicine that is beneficial. It's medicine that heals you. It's good. You need to take it. You need to heal yourself when the spoon is upright, or you need to do something to nurture yourself because it's medicine, or feed yourself in some way. But if the spoon is in the reverse, you don't like that medicine. It's bitter. So there's something happening here that's taking some time and you're not happy about it. You're like, man, this is not the dream. This is not the fantasy. This is not what I wanted because of this mushroom. Especially like it could take time for whatever, there's something is being made, something is being created, and it's taking a lot of time. But then when you get it, probably within a couple of weeks to a month, you're like, oh, that's it? Like you took that long to make that? Like why? Why did you take that long to make that? I don't know. That's just how it feels to me. If they had come out in the upright, I would be like, ooh, yeah, like this work that you're doing, the time that you're spending, how long it's taking, keep going, keep going, keep going. But it's not. It didn't. It came out in the reverse, and the mushroom is upside down, which tells me this time issue is a huge factor because what's coming out as a result may not be what you hoped for, what you were looking for. It might be a disappointment. It's not the fantasy. It's not living up to the legend. Okay, so now we have Pisces. Pisces has, excuse me for 1 second, I have someone knocking. All right. Oh, interesting. So we have the song The Kill by 30 Seconds to Mars playing in the background now. So we're on Pisces now. So Pisces has the rune of protection, and it's in the reverse. And so it kind of fell right here on top of like the Neptune and Jupiter, as well as the mutable modality symbols in your house. And so I feel like, I got to be honest. So Neptune is like the planet of dreams, and Jupiter is the planet of abundance. And I feel like you're worried that maybe your dreams are not protected, or like your dreams, or you're losing your abundance, you're losing your dream, you're losing something, right? Like there's this worry that it's not protected, or you need to protect it. It's like, I need to protect it at all cost or something, or you're feeling the lack of in some way. But then you have the dolphin here in this outer ring. And so, dolphins they bring in joy and playfulness and happiness. So as of right now, where you're feeling, um, you're not feeling so good about whatever this dream is, there's some sort of good news coming in within a month for you that's going to make you feel a whole lot better. Okay, so I hope that resonates. If it does not, please stick around. There may be another reading for you here on the channel that does. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you can to help get the channel out there, as I am new here. And thank you for watching. Hello, group 3. How are you today? So our group is represented by Miss Octavia Butler. So the interesting thing about Miss Butler is that, well, obviously she's a writer, because we are, using the Literary Witches Oracle for our focus cards. And so if you chose her, what her writing represented has to do with a lot of themes of oppression and overcoming difficulties. Hold on 1 second. I can't remember the name of her. There's a specific book that she wrote. Give me 1 second. Where did she go? There she is. Well, you know what? I apologize. They don't have the name of any of her books listed in this particular deck. So it just talks about her many novels and how she dealt with themes of racism, sexism, power struggle, and so on and so forth. And so this particular group is probably going to have something happening in those areas. Some of the darker themes, there could be power struggles happening, in your situation. What we're going to do with this reading is going to use the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot to look at the bullshit aspect, because Mr. Poe has a tendency to be a little melancholy. And then we are going to use our tarot, which is a tarot that is dedicated to notable women in history. I do not have the box for the Edgar Allan Poe deck, but I do have this box to show you. My other box is kind of buried at the moment, and it would be a little too hard for me to grab it. But as I said, we're going to use our tarot to look at the blessings that are coming in. But first, let's get a couple of Ed's cards here and see what he has to say. What is the bullshit going on? Obviously, like I said at the beginning, there's some sort of power struggle happening here. But this card does speak to the future. That is another aspect of Miss Butler, is that she was ahead of her time. She was unafraid to have Black protagonists in her novels. So, obviously she was a visionary. All right. And not just any Black protagonist, female Black protagonists. All right, so what is the bullshit happening for you? All right, we're starting off with the Four of Swords. So already the Four of Swords says that you need to heal something. And I don't know why I just felt the need to separate that into two, but hold on. Now we've got interesting two fours, the Four of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. So Four of Swords talks about you need to sit down before you fall down, or you need to heal a situation, right? Like you're doing too much, or you're holding on too tightly to a situation. And the reason I say holding on too tightly is because that's what the Four of Pentacles talks about. It talks about not being willing to let go of something. It is a card of greed, but I don't feel like there's greed attached to this situation. Obviously, it's a power struggle, and there's something that needs to be healed, but somebody doesn't want to let the issue go. Okay. And it does have to do with some sort of security as well, because we have two fours that came out already. But let's get one more card to finish out the 3-card spread. All right. So now we've got the 10 of Cups. All right. Oh, interesting. So having the 10 of Cups come out, this tells me this is like a family situation, or if it's not a family situation, there's definitely some sort of emotion attached to it where you feel very connected, and you feel as if the people that you are dealing with in this power struggle, they're family to you in some way. So now we have the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. And so the bottom of the deck is going to represent, what are the energies or situations that got you to this moment now. This one says, for the most wild yet most homely narrative which I am about to pen, I neither expect nor solicit belief. So interesting. It's like it's saying you're getting ready to do something. Oh, very, very interesting. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, we're going to leave it there, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So we have the song She Drives Me Crazy by Fine Young Cannibals playing in the background. So if we remember, I said whatever's on the bottom of the deck is the foundation, or it's the energy that brought you to this moment now. So this card here, it's clearly saying that you're getting ready to do something, but you aren't sure how it's going to be received, right? You're not sure if people are going to take it well. Obviously, I neither expect nor solicit belief. So in other words, that could be saying like, I neither expect nor ask for cooperation either, because this is a power struggle, right? Like you may be just deciding to be the authority. Like I am the law. I'm gonna make the decision whether you like it or not. I don't know, but we do have the strength card. This talks about being courageous in that decision. And standing up for it, because we have the Seven of Wands here, which is a card of defending your position, defending your beliefs, defending your actions, right? And then we have all of this energy. So with the Two of Wands, the Magician, the Ten of Swords, and the Sun, okay? So it's these three here. I was gonna stop it at this Two of Wands, because the Two of Wands is a card of like, I'm waiting for support. I'm hoping for support. It's also a decision that needs to be made. There are like two roads that you can take. And in fact, the key or the key phrase here, if I can get it to focus. Suddenly a corner was turned, a blaze of light burst upon your sight, right? So, it's like all of this energy right here is like, look, I'm going to do this thing. I'm not sure exactly how other people are going to take it, but I think I'm just going to make this executive decision and I'm going to do this anyway, right? I feel like that's what this card is saying, right? That's kind of backing all of that up. And then you've got all of these ones. The Magician breaks down, well, it's a 1. A 10 always breaks down to a 1, and 19, which, 1 plus 9 breaks down to 10, which breaks down to 1. So you have all of these ones here. New beginning, fresh start. I'm starting something, but it's more than that. I'm specifically starting something. I'm the one in control of this. I'm the one doing this, right? And we're going to read these here. We just want to, again, this is the bullshit aspect of it. We want to see, what does Poe have to say? He's so melancholy. What's melancholy about the Magician, which is a good card? Let's see. Why is it the bullshit? It says, but the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Then we have, weep now or nevermore. They who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who dream only by night. Okay. This is the decision right here. And I feel like what this is saying with these 3 cards, you feel like this decision needs to be made, right? In order to bring some information to the light, in order to bring a situation to the light, in order to bring an idea to the light, something you feel as if this decision must be made or this action must be taken. For each person, the situation is going to be different in terms of why you have to take the action. I do think that, like I said, there is a power struggle here. You do have the Hermit card coming up next, which is a card that talks about following your own, inner guidance, because you have taken the time to really go in and discover exactly what it is that you need in order to be able to follow that inner guidance. Like you're following your own path, right? And that's kind of what this is saying. And even though this is coming out as the bullshit aspect of the reading, we haven't got to the blessings yet. But I have to say, so far, I don't really feel like this is completely the bullshit. Maybe because this is coming out as a power struggle, other people are seeing this as the bullshit, right? Whatever this decision is that you've had to make, the other person or the other side or other people don't agree. And they're probably going to try to fight you on it. I say that because of this imagery here, right? They may even try to sabotage you, because if you see her hand, oh, come on. You see her arm, or her hand, I should say, is no longer a hand. It actually kind of looks like a bird that sort of pecked out the innards of this man, while there's a snake trying to drag this man down into the depths, right? And so, birds, the imagery of birds will often speak to communication of some kind. And then having a snake trying to drag you down into the depths, what that tells me is there could be somebody who maybe tries to sabotage in some way by saying something. I don't know exactly what that is. You'll know, based on your situation, what it is, what was said, whether it was true or false, or just, meant to cause a problem altogether. But yeah, okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pull one card from our tarot, and the reason for that is because each card has a notable woman from history that represents that card. And what we're going to do is I'm going to read a little bit from the book about that particular woman, and we're going to take her story and apply it to this reading, and use her story to describe blessings that are coming in for you this week that are attached to this executive decision that you have to make that someone is not happy with, and that someone may try to sabotage. Well, at least they may say something that it doesn't necessarily mean. When I say try to sabotage, that just means they may say something to make you question your ability. So, that could be the smallest type of sabotage, or it could be actual words that they say to someone else to be able to try and stop you. Again, which applies to your situation. But I feel like the overall energy of what they're saying, especially with this hermit, is don't let it get to you. You have to follow your own inner guidance, regardless of how unhappy the people around you are. All right. I actually feel like I need to just pull from the top. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So we've got the Two of Swords, Helen Keller. A decision needs to be made. Okay. So Helen Keller is one of those women that I can remember having to do a book report on in school. And so I do know a little bit about her. And I'm sure most people had to do that same book report in school. So about Helen Keller's struggles to communicate with the world at large, right? Now, Helen's success was widely dependent upon, what was her name? Annie. Oh, I can't remember her name, but her nurse. Let me see if I can find it here in the book. Well, I don't want to make this video too long, but her success was very much dependent upon her nurse and the compassion and love and patience of her nurse, the willingness to be able to continue to basically come in and fight with Helen every day, because when you really study the story of Helen Keller, and you read her story, and you read how hard it was for her nurse to come in and just be able to communicate with her from the very beginning, just to get her to understand that that she was trying to communicate, she was trying to give her letters and words and so on. But in the meantime, Helen Keller would have outbursts of anger. She would fight her every step of the way. And so I feel like what this is saying in terms of this whole thing is this executive decision that you've had to make, whoever this other person is probably going to react the way that Helen Keller did at first when her nurse came in. Okay. And I apologize that I still have not found her in this deck so that I can read to you the name of her nurse, because it's like right there on the tip of my tongue and it's going to drive me crazy. until I do find it. And if it's not in here, I'm going to scream. I swear to God, especially after looking for it, you guys. Oh, I just can't handle it if her name is not in here. Wait a minute, where? Oh, I'm looking in the wrong book. Lord, forgive me. All right, Two of Swords. The song Outside by Three Doors Down is playing in the background. Okay, so Helen Keller, the key aspects are sensory perception, the need for connection, and revelation. Interesting that revelation comes out where I feel as if someone may say something here. So it says, Annie Sullivan or Anne Sullivan. So it wasn't until Anne Sullivan came in and she was patient and she was willing to, you know, she was willing to face the fear of the opposition that she knew she was going to receive from Helen Keller when she first came in. She did it anyway. She stood in the face of all of that opposition and she came in with patience and love and compassion, and she did what she had to do anyway. And I feel like that is the overall theme of what this particular blessing is for you. It's saying all of this, especially the opposition, is actually going to pay off in the end once the revelation and the clarity of what it is that you're truly trying to do, penetrates to this person or people that are opposing the decision that you've made. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and pull some charms. Give me 1 second to get set up. I need to switch cameras, which means there's going to be a little bit of an edit. Okay. So for those who don't know, the way that I read the charms, if it falls in the center, it is a general reading for everyone. If it falls in this green ring, it will happen within 2 weeks to a month. Anything on the table is several months to a year. If it falls on the board, it is this week. And if it falls in a specific sign, it is a special message for that sign. Okay. So we have the bow, we have the $100 bill, but we also have the $10 bill in the reverse. So there's going to be some gains and losses for everyone this week. Oh, interesting. We have the number 12 domino, which is the double six. So the number 6, 66, and 12 could be important this week. God, my nails look terrible that close. Okay. So there will be some gains and losses for everyone. But, for the most part, I think it's going to be a good week because of that bow in the center that just talks about like gifts, right? It's a happy, joyful week. All right. So for the sign of Aries, we have the feather and the palm fronds. I feel like, I feel like, this is saying because the feather is falling on top of the cardinal modality. And so feathers are typically like messengers, or they represent like angels or messengers or messages that are beneficial or that are meant to like support in some way. And the palm fronds talk about like reaching out, extending the hand of friendship in some way. And so with being on the cardinal modality, the cardinal signs tend to be those signs that are those who will start a project. And I feel as if what this is saying is that there's some sort of support that you can give to someone, possibly creative or, maybe even just like support in terms of like like your passion, your agreement, your, I stand beside you in whatever it is. I feel like this will do someone the world of good. It could even be a gift to someone else if you are willing to extend yourself in that way. So for the sign of Taurus, the only thing that Taurus has is this $20 bill here in this outer ring. And so that tells me that's the $50 bill. So there's some abundance coming in for Taurus within several months. For the sign of Gemini, you have the cat and the fish, but the cat was in the reverse. So I feel like, as a saying with Gemini, like, you're not really paying attention to your emotions and how you feel. Also, fish don't just represent emotions, they can represent faith and money as well. And so to have the cat in, upside down, that's saying like your cats represent intuition. And so if it's in the reverse, you're not paying attention to your intuition, right? You're ignoring your intuition. So take it however it resonates. Gemini is ignoring their intuition in regards to love or money or their faith. So for the sign of Cancer, there isn't anything. For the sign of Leo, you have the rune of need. And this happened, wrong camera. This happened to fall between the houses of Leo and Virgo. I feel like it's saying that Leo and Virgo need each other this week, especially because I think Virgo is going to have some sort of loss or expense this week because of the $10 bill in the reverse. Libra, there's work. Towards the end of the week, you're going to have to get moving, get into action because of this boot here falling on this outer edge. It's a lot of work. Nothing for Scorpio, nothing for Sagittarius. For Capricorn, we have the anchor. I feel like this is talking about like long-term security. If you apply this directly to the reading, I feel like this is saying for Capricorn, this decision is bringing long-term security for you. For Aquarius, you have the RIP, the headstone that fell on top of your the air sign element in your house. So there's some idea or plan that you have to literally you have to bury it, or you have to like put it to rest. You have to let it die, basically, or it is dead, or it is ending in some way. It's dead, it's gone, it's not going to be revived. And the only reason that I say that is because you've got the $10 bill in the reverse in this outer ring. There's going to be some sort of if I feel like it's saying if you keep going with whatever this is, there's going to be some sort of expense coming in, within a month or so. And it could be attached to like small losses as well, because when you have the rat, like that's what, rats are pests. They come in and they get into your food, they get into your trash. They're a menace, right? And so there could be, just small little issues that are causing losses that are attached to whatever this idea is for Aquarius. But this is also attached to Pisces. And the interesting thing is that Pisces has the chair that came out, tipped over. So for Pisces, there's someone leaving their life. It could be emotional, but whoever this person is, I feel like they were causing issues, causing difficulties, causing small losses. Like rats will come in and they'll chew on your wiring, right? And you won't see it right away until you start to have issues, and then you realize you've got this infestation that you've got to get rid of. That's the energy going on for Pisces. Like, you may be really upset once you find out, and like this person has to leave your life. But then you also have in your outer ring, you've got the moon and star. And so I feel like it's saying like within several months to a year, like there's some sort of I feel like there's like an intuitive, like something like you hear good news or something. Like, I feel like, to be honest, I feel like whoever this person is, they're causing problems. They're a pest, right? So they have to leave your life, but then within a year or something, like, because you're upset about them leaving your life. This is falling out over the water element. You don't want them to leave your life, but they are. And then, like, you found out later there's some good news surrounding them. Like maybe they start getting on the right path. It's just how it feels to me. Okay, so I hope that resonates. If it does not, please stay tuned. There may be another reading for you here on the channel that does. By the way, for Pisces, the song Bang by AJR is playing in the background. Interesting. And go out with the bang. So whoever this person is that's leaving Pisces life, I don't know, like there may be fireworks when this ending happens. Just saying based on the song. Okay. Hello, group 4. You have the spider, which means that your situation is going to be interconnected and dependent on somebody or something else. So let's see what is going on. What we're going to do with your reading, we're going to use the Edgar Allan Poe tarot to look at the bullshit aspect, because Mr. Poe has a tendency to be melancholy. And then we will be looking at our tarot, which is a tarot dedicated to notable women in history. And we'll be using that deck to see what are the blessings coming in through this. So let me get a couple of shuffles while I say my very awkward disclaimer, and we'll get right into it. These readings are meant to be timeless and general in nature. If the details fit, it is meant for you. If they do not, please do not try to make them fit, as that will do more harm than good. I am not a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. If you need advice in any of those areas, please consult a professional. Please do not do something simply because I suggest it in the video. You are an adult who has responsibility for your own life. Please use that responsibility to your advantage. If you hear me call out a song and artist in the middle of the reading, please use the same rule as previously stated, that do not try to make every word of that song fit for your life. It could just be one word, the chorus, one particular sentence, or even just the artist or the name of the song that is pertinent to the reading. And with that said, one more shuffle, and we're going to go ahead and get into it to see what is the bullshit going on for you this week. Oh, very quickly they came out, and we have some in the reverse. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to. All right, so we have the Ace of Pentacles, the 10 of Wands, and the King of Swords. Okay, I feel like you started a project and quickly became overwhelmed, and it could be because there's like no strategy, no planning, or no organization to it in some way. Interesting. That's literally how it feels to me. I'm not even going to try to go further with this, and I'm not going to read the quotes on the bottom just because it very strongly feels this way, especially because of the spider. Like I said in the beginning, the spider will typically mean that there are other people attached in some way, there's going to be some sort of, community or connection between you and someone or something else. So what is this? I want to see what is this project? All right, so now we have the 10 of Swords, the 7 of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. So this actually, the Ten of Swords is typically about like a betrayal, right? And as you can see from the imagery on this card, he does have the quills. Uh, those quills are, I come on, focus. So those quills are stabbing him in the back, but typically quills are not something that can do a whole lot of damage. It's not like an actual sword, right? Those are just feathers. Meaning that whatever this betrayal was, um, it came in the form of either the written word or spoken word in some way. It was not an actual, like, physical betrayal, it was a verbal betrayal. But then you have um, this defense, right? There's like, it's like someone's coming in to defend what they said or did here. And and based on what it says at the bottom of this particular card, the person who comes in to defend themselves, they are successful. They've like successfully proved their point. Um, so I don't know if I already mentioned that we have Shine Down playing in the background. Save Me. And so this particular song, it talks about someone is like in the throes of it or in the midst of addiction, right? And they're saying like basically they don't want to be in the midst of this addiction anymore. But I kind of feel like it's saying in terms of whatever this project is. So this project started, or this whatever this situation is, it started, right? And now and maybe you're a part of it, and now whatever is going on, you don't want to be there anymore, you don't want to be a part of it anymore because there's disorganization, people are maybe saying things that are not very nice. You're having to defend yourself quite often, and even though you have been like, you're right basically, because this Knight of Cups comes out underneath the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is someone who um, is very harsh and cold, and they try to be strategic, but their planning is very manipulative, right? And so they're disorganized. They're like they haven't planned. They didn't think things through before they said something or planned something or wrote whatever it was that they wrote over here, right? And so because of that, you've had to come in and defend yourself, and you've proven your point. You've proven your case, or at least you will, I think. Um, it doesn't really answer like what this project is, but maybe it's just because the project is supposed to be different. Look, you do have the Two of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Look at this one came out in one of the other readings, and so I remember that it says suddenly a corner was turned, a blaze of light burst upon our sight. So whatever this is, I think also when you come in to defend yourself and you prove your point, like this is where this energy, I actually feel like this might be the blessings aspect of this whole reading. In fact, I don't think I'm going to even pull from the other deck, um, because I do feel like this is saying like, this is the bullshit. You have this project that started, and then all of a sudden, this one person is like being a problem. They've said or did something that's a problem. You've had to come in and defend yourself. You prove your point, which causes everyone to sort of have this awakening, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need to leave it there. It's so weird. It feels like it needs to be left there. Like, um, we have the song. We have the song "Stupid" by Ashaniko playing in the background. Um, I got to be honest with you. I feel like how that plays out for this particular reading. It's like it's saying, I feel like this is you and you're the one singing this song, but it's not, this song, like I say, don't take the full theme of the song as the reading. What this song is basically saying is somebody, this stupid person thinks that I need them. They think that I am obligated to stay because I need them. And I feel like that's sort of the blessing as well, like the clarity that comes through here, because this person in the reverse, this is someone who's harsh and manipulative, and they're not trying to be nice. They are actually trying to control or put their power on something, right? It is a power play is what they're doing when they're manipulating the situation. And so if they're trying to manipulate you because they think that you need them, that's what this card is saying over here. Like, oh, all of a sudden, I feel like you may be like, yeah, especially with this over here, you're defending yourself, you prove your point, but you may walk away. I think if you actually walk away after proving your point, that is the blessing, because it brings clarity. Like, it may not be a huge fireworks kind of blessing where, suddenly this person has the realization, or they're going to tell you they have the realization. But I think what's going to happen privately is they're going to have that realization. Yeah, I think they're definitely going to have that realization, because you're going to walk. They're going to be like, oh, I thought they needed me. I thought I thought they weren't going anywhere. It's almost like, I feel like this is a situation where one person is taking the other person for granted. To be honest with you, it really, really does feel like one person is taking the other for granted. And this whole having to stand up for yourself situation is bringing a lot of clarity. You're going to walk and the other person gets their clarity. You may not see it. You may not see that they're upset about you walking, but I think that's going to cause upset. And that's your blessing, even though you're not going to get the actual fireworks of it. So with that, I'm going to pull some charms. Give me a second, because I need to switch cameras, which means there's going to be a little bit of an edit here. Okay, so the way that I read my charms is I explain every time. If it falls in the middle, it is a general reading for everyone. If it falls on the board, the timing for that is within the week. If it falls in the green ring, the timing is 2 weeks to a month. Anything on the table is several months to a year. And if it falls in a specific sign, it is a special message for that sign. I want to give them a real big this time. So we actually got a new charm in one of the readings this week, and that was very exciting for me. It was one I haven't had come out yet, so I want to get a really good mix going on. Okay, so we have the song "Are You In" by Incubus playing in the background. Okay. I have hardly any charms fill out this time, but that's okay. So here in the center, so everyone is going to get a breakthrough. Basically, this is the breakthrough rune. There's going to be some sort of clarity for everyone watching this particular reading this week. For the sign of Aries, look at it's like almost everything that fell in this particular charm reading is happening for Aries this week. You have the dragon, you have the happy sun. If I can get it to focus. Oh, I have it upside down. No, I actually don't. Sorry. The happy sun. We have the starfish, the elephant, and then the axe. So we're going to break it down. So dragon energy, I see dragons as, positive energy, beneficial, good luck. Some people can see it as, negative energy. I don't. I unless I feel the need, I'll read it as positive. So if you are looking at that and you're one of those who sees dragons and thinks reptilian, star seeds, negative, toxic, go for it. Read it that way. discount whatever I have to say, but I'm going to read it as positive. For me, dragons represent things like money, jewels, gold, all the pretty shiny things that denote wealth. And so that's sitting on top of the fire element in the sign of Aries. So that tells me that fire represents like creativity. So your wealth is going to come from your creative and active nature this week. So all of every step that you take, especially if it has to do with your creativity, that's going to bring wealth for you this week and a lot of joy, because of the sun. It's going to get you recognition with the starfish. Now, the interesting thing is this elephant, which happens to be sitting in your outer ring. So elephants represent family, also wisdom, and long-term security, and like memories. Like, elephants are known for having very good memories. And so I feel like what this is saying is that whatever this is here that you're getting recognition for, that your abundance is coming in, like it's going to have some sort of long-term benefit for your family. Like almost like it's a legacy in a way, because when you talk about elephants and the memory, it feels like a legacy, something that can be passed on from generation to generation. But the interesting thing is that there's something that you have to, something you're going to have to get rid of. I think you know already what it is. Like within a month from the time you see this reading, there's something that you have to cut out of your life, and you already know intuitively what that is. Okay. The sign of Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer do not have anything this week. For the sign of Leo, we have the leaf, we have the airplane, and then we have the Pisces fish in the outer ring. So the leaf, it talks about turning over a new leaf. So maybe Leo is deciding to make some changes this week. Whatever these changes are, it will probably, require some sort of travel, or movement, right? Like, or if you're not actually traveling this week, whatever these changes are, it's going to bring movement in whatever situation you have with a Pisces, where like maybe you could be traveling to see a Pisces, like you could be making the plans within a month to go see a Pisces within a year or several months from this week. There could be changes that bring movement in a relationship that you have with a Pisces, where, especially if you would like to establish a relationship, or establish like being able to, if you want to go and visit a Pisces for some reason or something, there it's going to require, it's going to be attached to the changes that you make this week, is what I'm trying to say. So for the sign of Virgo, you have the love charm. You do have this love charm coming out in the reverse on top of the earth element. I got to be honest with you. I feel like it's saying there's no love. Like Virgo, you'll know, especially if it's this situation that we just talked about in the reading itself. There's no love in this situation. It's just confirmation for you. So for the sign of Libra, you have the pyrite and the witch's hat. And so I feel like there's some magic coming in for Libra this week. I feel like actually, because this is falling on the symbol for Libra, and then where it says Libra, I feel like it's saying that you are creating magic this week. You will know intuitively how that applies to you. There's nothing for Scorpio this week, but for Sagittarius, we have the green man and the palm fronds. So the green man has to do with like, it's a very earthy kind of energy, right? Like whenever I see the green man, I think of the forest and animals and abundance and like fertility. But I think whatever this abundance, fertility, all of that is, it's going to be attached to someone else, probably foreigner in some way. Like maybe, okay, so I got to be honest. just because this palm frond came out on top of the symbol for Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the sign that does rule like foreign countries and things like that, things that are foreign to you. And so, palm fronds talk about reaching out. So maybe you'll need to reach out to someone else who's either ideas or philosophy. There's something about this person that feels foreign to you, but I feel like you're going to have to be the one to make the first move or be the one to reach out in some way. Nothing for Capricorn. Aquarius has the microscope in the outer ring. So like within a month, the details are going to become very important to Aquarius. So I feel like it's saying pay very close attention to the details now, because you're going to have to within a month to 2 months from now. For the sign of Pisces, you have the cross and you have the rune of movement. So I feel like it's saying like, have faith. There are going to be changes. There's going to be some movement or some change in your situation soon. Just have faith. It may take time. Okay. So I hope that resonates. If it does not resonate, please stay tuned. There may be another reading for you here in the channel that does. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, whatever you can to help get the channel out there, as I am new here. And I thank you for watching.